Hey guys, it's Super Effective here with another NS2 Intel update, the series which covers the updates of Natural Selection 2. Here you can get the latest intel on the most notable gameplay adjustments, new additions, and things to look out for. The full changelog will be linked in the description for your review. It's been a while since Natural Selection 2 has had any major gameplay changes, but now is the time to prepare yourself for build 268 because the CDT is finally making some big balance changes, which are greatly influenced by all the great people behind the NS2 Competitive Mod. Loading times overall have been greatly improved, big thanks to Matzo. The minimap now shows unsocketed or blueprinted power nodes. The Lurk Bite will play the high damage hit sound to better differentiate from spikes. The starting alien personal resources is reduced to 15. However, the cost of all life forms except the Gorge have been reduced by 5. The regeneration trait's healing per tick has been increased from 4% to 6%. The first upgrade you choose as a Skulk will only take 2 seconds to upgrade instead of 5. However, switching upgrades will still take 5 seconds. The Fade's swipe attack had its damage type changed to light structure. This means it only deals 1/4 of the damage against structures with armor. The Fade's stab ability no longer has a movement speed penalty while in use. The Fade's Shadow Step and Vortex ability will now be replaced by Metabolize. It regenerates some energy when used, and can be upgraded to Advanced Metabolize by the commander, which also allows for small health regeneration. The Onos had its movement improved, but its Bone Shield ability has an initial cost of 10 energy, and it only blocks 75% of the damage instead of 100. And aliens can see the type of egg their teammates are on the scoreboard. The cost to drop a Gorge Tunnel has been reduced to 4 P-Res, however its health has also been reduced by 25%. This cyst takes 2 minutes to mature instead of 3, however its health has been reduced by 100 hit points. Spurs, Veils, and Shells now take 15 Team Res to drop instead of 20. However, the cost to drop a Shift, Shade, Crag, or Whip have been increased from 10 to 13. All Lifeform upgrades have been moved to the Hive instead of their individual structures. Each hive can research one upgrade at a time, independent of biomass research. Biobomb, Leap, and Charge cost 15 Team Res each. Metabolize, Umbra, Bone Shield, and Spores cost 20 Team Res each. Stab, Stomp, and Xenocide cost 25 Team Res each, and Web costs 10 Team Res. The Marines will start with an additional Infantry Portal if the game starts with 9 vs 9 or greater. The Advanced Armory upgrade will cost 20 Team Res instead of 30, and the Arms Lab will cost 15 Team Res instead of 20. Some of the Marine structures had their health values traded for armor because of the Fade damage changes, but please understand that this is not a nerf as they effectively have the same amount of health. Marine commanders can now manually set the Ark's target for strategic control. The jetpack has been improved to no longer require a jump before the propulsion begins. This results in fantastic maneuvering and distance travel if used in short bursts, and also allows for effective use in vents. However, the jetpack fuel now regenerates slower than before. The throwing animation for any of the hand grenades has been reduced to 1 second. The weight of the mines have been reduced. Weapons dropped on the ground decay after 25 seconds instead of 30. Exosuits are finally getting a buff. Their claw attack damage has been increased from 30 to 50, their health has been increased by 15%, they've been given a slight damage increase, and they no longer slow down while firing. However, their movement speed has been slightly decreased, and they can no longer be recalled by Distress Beacon. The ammo display on weapons now flash red when low on ammo, and will reload automatically upon firing the last bullet. Shotguns now show the remaining number of shells using the lights on the side. The Commander's selection box now works with enemy units if there are no friendlies within the marquee. The Marine Commander Alert Queue now prioritizes player requests over structures being damaged when pressing the spacebar. Rifles dropped on the ground no longer display expiration bars for the commander in order to reduce clutter. Alien commanders can now see the energy of their teammates. The Nutrient Mist has been increased to 2 team resources instead of 1. The Contamination Pod had its health reduced from 2,000 to 1,000. The health of the Bone Wall now scales with biomass at 100 health points per biomass level. The cost for the first biomass upgrade has been reduced from 20 to 15 team resources, and the second biomass upgrade from 30 to 20 team resources. Enzyme only affects the rate of attack of aliens and no longer affects travel speed or attack cone width. Mucous membrane no longer repairs armor. Instead, it boosts the life form's effective health by 15%, which lasts 5 seconds and has a 5-second cooldown. The 60-second resource gain penalty for exiting a command chair or hive has been removed. While spectating, you will now start in overhead mode. You can follow players by clicking on the frames at the sides of your screen, at least until they die. You can clear the follow mode by using the movement keys, cycling modes, and clicking outside of the names. The health and armor bars now have higher contrast between colors to make it easier to see in Spectator during streams. The controls for zooming while spectating or commanding can now be customized in the commander binding options. And finally, Spectator displays when someone loses a lifeform egg. For Summit and Descent, the starting locations will now always be on the opposite side of the map. On Biodome, the starting locations are now fixed to be Reception versus Atmospheric Exchange. On Docking, the spawn combinations for Terminal versus Departures and Cafeteria versus Locker Room have been removed. On Vale, the mini vents in East Junction have been closed off. The resource node area in Pipeline has been widened and the starting cyst adjusted accordingly. That about wraps it up for this Intel update. Please leave any feedback or bug reports on the official NS2 forums. The community development team would love to hear from you. Don't forget to spread the word because there has never been a better time to play NS2. Until next time, see you all on the next respawn.